If only our official job descriptions read, protector of wedding nights, sunsets, and eternal life. If only our key performance indicators were measured by our capacity to prance and dance under the moonlight and joyously sing to the orchard fruit. It's Kitchenette Paris, a show about food and passions and the city of light. I'm Dany Bells, historian, former restaurateur, writer, cook, and current Parisian with the tiniest of kitchens. Join me as I answer the siren call of Paris and eat and cook my way through town. Give me balmy weather, deep sunlight, and strappy dresses any day over this coziness obsession with turtlenecks and winter cheer and fairy lights. As the gray returns to France and I hide inside my unsightly winter coat, I will be on the hunt for stimulants that will cure my seasonal grumpiness and remind me that the world is still full of music and scent and flavor. Day trips to the ballet and museums will help, and so will a daily dose of patisserie. But I will mostly be revivified by the little offerings that nature will unleash to remind me that, indeed, spring will be here in a few months. I can already envision my giddiness at the sight of the first spring tulips. And citrus season in Europe, already in full gear, will revivify my deep need for riotous color and zingy freshness amongst the taupes and slates and rusts of the visual landscape. Key limes, pink grapefruits, blood oranges will see me through the next few weeks. Anton Chekhov, writing from the deepest gray and cold imaginable in the civilized world, repeatedly stressed the heavy weight of deep winter. During Russian literary season many years ago, I would skip AP English class more than usual. I loved the writers, but as ever, with my head in the clouds, I so longed to be carried away to the tropics or the desert or the jungle. I wanted Gabriel Garcia Marquez and Tennessee Williams, not snow and ice and hail. My daydreams, as ever, guided my every step, and excessive thoughts of the frigid cold and the desperate need to find a heat source did not sit well with me on paper or in real life. I still detest the cold and can only slightly agree with Chekhov when he insisted that people don't realize whether it's winter or summer when they're happy. Perhaps I am an utterly miserable girl, as in the dead of winter I still struggle to find wholehearted joy. Call it seasonal affective disorder, winter phobia, or grumpiness. I have to exert myself to feel happy when the sun hardly makes an appearance and the collective central heating in my building remains at an untoasty 68 degrees. Fahrenheit, that is. And no, this isn't Muscovite cold. It's Parisian cold with its perpetual gray skies and a balmy 35 degrees outside. Fahrenheit, that is. Intolerable for melodramatics like myself, who in Michelin-man puffy coats and sun-deprived skin start to imagine that they are indeed characters in a Chekhov novel. In the citrus, the antidote will be found. On a day when I very ungracefully slip and fall on the icy sidewalks, It is the clouds of scent from peeling an oro blanco grapefruit after dinner that will soothe my rage. When the stench of a neighbor's sulfurous cabbage dish permeates the entire floor in my apartment building, it is the raucous orange hue of the mandarin that will lift my mood and spark visions of blue skies and monarch butterflies. Some kind of miracle that citrus is a winter crop. A colorful, fragrant wink from the gods to keep the faith amongst the dog-pee-drenched slurpy snow on the sidewalk or the 18th day in a row of thick cloud cover. A reminder that rebirth is our destiny and that in the torpor of general dormancy brews an explosion of life itching to come out. In town, juicy fruits arrive from Italy or Morocco just in time to give us a little hope that the party will return to our days. Walking down the Rue de Sevres, not far from the Grande Épicerie, I come across the citrus specialist La Grumiste, the boutique of bergamot lemons and Buddha hand citrons, citrus caviar and pink lemons, kaffir limes and oro blanco grapefruit. Such lyrical titles for fruit, perhaps invented by some marketing think tank, but I like to imagine a poet with her head in the clouds deciphering the titles of each varietal after feasting on juice and pulp and even some rind. La Grumiste sells from its own orchards in Morocco, where they grow over 250 citrus varieties to supply this elegant little shop with delightful specimens. The orchards are located near the possible site of the ancient mythological Garden of the Hesperides, where the nymphs of the evening frolicked as protectors of the sunset and marriages and the beauty of the night. The lovely demi-goddesses had beautiful names: Scarlet, Brightness, and Sunset Glow. Their task, mandated by Hera, goddess of marriage and family, and one of Zeus's wives, was to care for the tree with the golden apples, whose fruits brought eternal life. The fruit were said to glow, giving dusk its golden hue. Except for a little mishap in which a stolen apple resulted in the Trojan War, the nymphs did a fairly good job guarding the fruit from those who had their eye on immortality. If only us earthlings could find gainful employment, prancing around gardens, honoring and protecting the precious offerings from the heavens. If only our official job descriptions read, protector of wedding nights, sunsets, and eternal life. If only our key performance indicators were measured by our capacity to prance and dance under the moonlight and joyously sing to the orchard fruit. Rather than apples, the grammarian Athenaeus clarified in the 2nd century that the fruit were more likely citrons. It was actually the divine citrus of winter that brought eternal life. The cedrate, Citrus medica, the citron, the parent fruit of all modern citrus varietals with a thick rind and deeply aromatic zest. In the hallowed grove in Morocco, La Grumiste cultivates what may likely be the mythical golden apple, the rare Luminciana citron. At the shop on Rue de Sevres, my heart races when I see the giant lemon-like fruit, sometimes bigger than a very large mango and up to 12 inches, 30 centimeters in height. I fervently want to believe that the nymphs actually dance and sing around this orchard, that this fruit is infused with the aura of scarlet and sunset glow, that I will receive a holy sacrament when Lumiciana touches my lips after I alchemize it into candied fruit. Such a magnificent specimen with the thickest of piths and an oily rind that perfumes my canvas shopping bag. While it will transform into a candied citron in my kitchenette, I can't help but follow the shop assistant's suggestions to take a bite from the Lumiciana and enjoy it like an apple. She's not a cunning serpent, but a lovely young woman who convinces me to break with a taboo and take of this fruit of immortality. Instead of eternal damnation, I am consumed by some form of rapture? Am I taking of the bodies of the gods, or am I just overwhelmed by the pungent mintiness that tingles on my tongue for several blocks as I walk back to the apartment? Lumiciana rejuvenates the senses, but she is awfully expensive. I only take 2 home for 22 euros, and I quickly realize that the citrus stimulant of the season will have to come from orchards a bit less legendary, a bit less grandiose. The supermarket provides plenty of beauties to brighten the drab days of the season. I fill the pretty bowl on my dining table with oranges and limes, probably from a mass production orchard somewhere in Spain, where the fruit is not so mythical, but delectable nonetheless. I want to show it to every neighbor, to every perplexed friend on video call who wonders how a bowl of fruit could produce such manic enthusiasm. I want to peel every tangerine and let the mist of oil sprinkle my face like summer rain. I feverishly long to whiff fresh ruby pomelos at every corner of the city. Like a mad obsessive, a collection of citrus essential oils will take over my vanity this winter. Cointreau will find its way into my recipes and cocktails. Mandarins will sit at the bottom of my handbag wherever I go, so I can sniff the fruit like a junkie when in absolute need of a euphoric hit. If Chekhov was correct, every key lime, every tangelo, every pink lemon will inform my days and brighten my mood so that winter will be a time of bliss. And so will many slices of sweet citrus pies. It is Julia Richardson, in her fabulous cookbook, Vintage Cakes, who first introduced me to the term hasty bakes. Such validation I felt when pandowdies and sheet cakes and buckles and crisps greeted me in this gorgeous archive of old American fare. I wasn't alone in loving the not-so-pretty, but oh-so-delicious baking that takes place every day in kitchens in Portland, or Buffalo, or Reykjavik, or Madrid, or Shanghai. In Paris, haute pâtisserie, with its extreme inclination toward perfect physical form, lures hungry pilgrims from all over the globe. Of course, macarons and eclairs are a delight, but my heart rests in the hasty when it comes to dessert. I could care less about the appearance of a slice of my blue Hawaii pie splattered on a pretty serving dish. It's completely divine with its pineapple and blueberry and lovely touch of lime. Knowing that today an entire squad of bakers will be making delicious, uneven shapes of chocolate chip cookies and runny apple pies, I am completely comfortable with preparing the most imperfect tarte, certainly by Parisian standards. A tarte that will brighten my winter with the citrus fruits of the season. While the Luminciana is a luxury specimen, Persian or key limes are perfectly accessible to us earthlings. My tarte, hasty and uncouth as can be by Parisian standards, will be perfumed with the zest of limes and ground ginger, a slice of zingy brightness when everything is slate and pewter and gray in the world. Winter is long and dreary, especially for those of us who reject its offerings from the very first sign of pumpkin spice latte season in September. It will be the 20th of March before some of us will celebrate winter, knowing we only have to do it for a few hours, with the reassurance that tulips and bumblebees will soon start making the rounds in our local parks and balconies and gardens. Citrus will start to dwindle during spring and will likely be the only thing I will miss from the winter dread. I will buy dozens of lemons and feverishly squeeze them to freeze their winter juices for summer salads. I will eat little bits of candied Luminciana with its complex bitter flavor profile to challenge and revivify my senses. And daily, I will reminisce over all the beautiful, fragrant, sweet winter baking that brought euphoric joy during the gray. Pink grapefruit-Campari pie, blood orange meringue tart, and blue Hawaii crumble. Winter baking will get me through this dark season, and so will knowing that millions of us around the world will be enlivened by sniffing lemon and lime zest with abandon in our kitchens as we count the days to the sun's return. May winter baking and cooking bring glee and joy to your days, and may you have someone in your life with whom to share your zesty, restless spirit and delicious winter pleasures. Until next time, I'm Dany Bells. Kitchenette Paris is written and produced by me, from Paris with love. Music by Kyle Cox. If you enjoyed this little pause in your day, please leave me a review, subscribe, and share my stories with someone you love. Info in show notes.